And it's the show normally with Joe DeGanzik and Babe Kaler, but today it's going to be a little bit different. We want to remind you we're brought to you by a few people, by Phoenix Pride, the parade happening in just 2 weeks from today, by audible.com, where you can get a free audiobook at audibletrial.com/QTalkAmerica, and also by Aunt Rita's Foundation's month-long fundraising event called Save Her Life, and you can find out more about that at saveherlifephoenix.org. And of course, you can donate some money through our little event coming up that we'll talk to you more about. But otherwise, I want to bring on someone who is going to have her own show here on the network, and that is none other than my co-host for today, Afeelya Bunz.
Hello.
And I think I got everything right, that we're actually both on camera. Look at that. Amazing.
Oh, I'm not looking.
You're not looking, I know. It's like, then we would see the back of your head and all that good stuff. So, well, you were on the network for a little bit on What's the Tea.
Yeah.
And now you're going to be on Monday.
This Monday. I'm excited.
Are you nervous?
No.
Because you're no stranger to talking. You're no stranger, I think, to being on a stage and screen. I guess you've not been in like Hollywood movies, have you?
No.
No.
I was an extra a couple of times, but
really,
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was very fun. It was fun. Like in the Army now with Pauly Shore and Andy Dick and I was an extra in there. But as Rich, not
well, right. that was the. But that's actually pretty cool. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
And there's another one I totally forgot about. I can't remember. But yeah, it's fun.
Awesome. Well, let's see. Babe and I took off last week because there was a lot of different things going on, and I had just had a crazy week. And then I picked up my new car a week ago Friday, which, as everyone has known that I had talked about ad nauseum, I'm like, oh my God, I was tired of waiting for the delivery of the car, and I was literally getting down to the point where I said, I will just buy like a $3,000 like junker just to get a car. You know what I mean? But luckily the car came in, and I can go on about that ad nauseum, and we can talk about that a little later in the show. But I do drive now an electric car, and it is really cool. Like going by gas stations, going like, I don't care what gas prices are, you know?
So how long is your charge for?
It works. It depends on if you're going to top off or if you've really run it down to like 10 or 20 miles left. If you do that, it's about 3 hours to charge up. And it's about $1 an hour on what they call commercial public charging. And even out of my apartment complex, they put them in because I started the process like a year ago between the company that got the government grant and the apartment complex, and they did that whole thing so that I would be able to charge at home, because when you're at an apartment complex, like there's no like plugs to plug into,
right? And
these cars normally require a special plug with a special charger. So I'm able to charge up at home and also around town. You see some of the charging stations around town, like right there by Hula's, and they actually have them, I think, up at 16th Street and Bethany. There's hundreds of them actually around town, and there's maps, and the car has all these gadgets that you can see where everything is. So
wow.
It really is cool. Yeah, I'll show you after the show. But it's great to have wheels. It's great to finally say, all right, I've accomplished kind of a long time goal of kind of getting away from gas. And one of the other things is that because I proved to myself that you don't need a car to get around, it's a heck of a lot more convenient.
That's so true.
But because you do that as well, you don't have a car.
I don't have a car, and
it's a heck of a money saver, to be sure. But I also now am driving this car to be more of a symbol of change, of saying, okay, this is a direction that the world should be moving into. More so than just saying, ooh, look, I have a car. I mean, it's great. The car is awesome. It's new car smell, all that good stuff. But
what color is it?
It's red.
Did you have a choice of colors, or?
You sort of do, but these days when you get a new car, like for the really popular ones, like the popular models and so forth, they'll paint them in most all different colors of the rainbow that they have available. and then the depending on the options that you want, sometimes you can't get it in a certain combination. So the problem was, I said, all right, I wanted it in one of a couple different colors, but I wanted certain options, like the middle of the range kind of options. But as it turned out, they're not making as many of these as they make of other cars. So it was kind of like, well, I had to go with the top of the line. So literally the car is like the top of the line. It has everything on it. It was only going to be a little bit more per month. So I said, fine.
Wow.
It's and it's a lot lower cost for me than I was paying even with my Prius, because the Prius I had a higher car payment on because I wasn't leasing it. I was financing the whole thing, and then you have gas and you have maintenance. This uses no gas, so I'm paying like half of what I was paying in gas for the equivalent electricity, and then there's no maintenance because there's no oil, there's no belts, there's no pulleys, there's no transmission, there's no.
Is the insurance high on that?
It's a little less, actually.
Oh,
it was
is
a couple bucks less per month.
Oh, nice.
And I thought that was interesting. And maybe it is because that there is no, there's less things to go wrong. Maybe it's a little less to replace the whole car if it breaks, not breaks, but if it gets in an accident or whatever.
Right.
So I thought that was actually, because I was expecting it to be a little higher. But it turned out it was a little bit lower. So overall, I'm really happy with it. I've only had it for a week. Now that I did my other thing, I guess I didn't announce this on the show last week, so I'd been going over this whole thing about switching jobs and switching careers. So now I'm going to be working at ASU, at the Honors College, doing marketing work, which is totally awesome, and not doing the IT thing anymore. But so I have this week off kind of between jobs, so now I can kind of relax a little bit and get some time to play with the car and just kind of unwind. Of course, the other thing that I have to do this week, let's see, what can I take off this title? Let's do this. The other thing that I want to do is remind everyone, as if you didn't know, is that, of course, we have our event coming up on Tuesday. You're going to be here for that, right?
I'm going to try.
Oh, that's right. You said you might have to work.
I have to work still.
But I think for everyone who can, we, of course, have the big grand opening party. I think it's going to be a great event. Tuesday night from 5:30 to 10, we're going to have some food and wine and champagne and some drinks and some door prizes donated by Tan United and by Cafeteria on Thomas. And so please come out, hang out, see everything that we do, see the whole studio. Here, let me take the wide shot.
And that's going to be during Clayton's show?
It is. It's going to run right into Clayton's show.
Nice.
Not like a train wreck, but not saying that his show is a train wreck, but his show will start at 7. There's the wide shot of the studio. His show will start at 7, and actually in the Studio A, which actually Clayton is painting and finishing right now,
where you can still see,
you can still see things going on in there. But anyhow, so that's going to be kind of a really cool, sexy lounge. Katie, June, and I went to IKEA yesterday to get some cool accessories, and we got a great deal. Actually, I love Shanti's 16th Street and Indian School. We got a great deal on a couch for like $75.
Really?
That couch in there.
That is a nice couch.
It's a nice couch. $75.
Yeah.
They were having like a sale. So we're really doing it. Going to make it look sharp. It's going to look. It's going to be a great. Really great event, and just people will be able to enjoy Clayton's show right from the other side of the window. There's nice. Clayton right now.
Still painting.
It's still painting, still working. He's a really, Clayton is like the Energizer Bunny of home improvement. He'll just do anything for you if he has time.
Nice. Very nice. But
anyhow, so what have you been up to?
A whole lot of nothing, actually.
A whole lot of nothing.
Yeah. No, just getting ready for the show for Monday.
That's right. Let's put that up on the screen somewhere. There it is.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I say I'm not nervous, but when it comes down to it, I'm sure I will be.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be responsible for my own stuff.
But you were doing that a little bit. I know that you were a good part of the What's the Tea show. You were doing some scheduling of some guests.
Yeah.
And you were working. I was going to say you're working it out, but they're working it out on that's the 4:00 show. But
it was fun. It's fun to have to be free to talk about whatever and give your opinions without having to being
censored.
Yeah,
having some kind of like that whole thing going on.
Exactly. But other than that, let's see. Now, also getting ready for Phoenix Pride in 2 weeks. Is
That's
it 2
right.
weeks already?
It is 2 weeks from
Holy
today.
Lord, I hope the temperature goes
down. I hope it just stays the same, right? Like 85, maybe 80 degrees.
Yeah, but you're not wearing a couch on you either.
Well, true. That's true. What are you going to be doing at Phoenix Pride?
I'm performing at 1 o'clock on the community stage.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to be in the parade with you guys on the Q-Talk car, float, whatever.
Yeah, we're going to have a gigantic
bike.
Electric car. Yeah, it's going to be
we should
my
get
bike.
A 4-seater bike.
That's right. A bike. Or I could bike. I could grab my bike out of my apartment and we could get like a big wagon and just put you guys in it. And I'll just...
If you're pedaling, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
I could ride handlebar,
or we could all ride in the electric car and have air conditioning.
There you go. That'd be a nice little commercial right there.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
We should put that up on the screen. Let's see. Ooh, Phoenix Pride, April 6th and 7th. Find more information out at phoenixpride.org. We actually are a sponsor of the parade, so we should mention that. We're obligated to mention it a number of times. Otherwise, Pride is across the way. You can't see it because the other window is all closed up, but
they're currently having a meeting or a get-together.
I sent one of our people over there. Actually, he was already going to be there because... Gene Moore from the show Working It Out on Saturdays.
Now, when you first announced Working It Out, I thought it was a fitness show.
You thought it was a fitness show?
And
I didn't know what the heck
Ernesto Ortiz was going to be there. I said, Ernesto, what is this?
They're going to just be like,
Are you giving us tips how to work it out? Or is it a weight loss challenge or what?
Well, you've heard how they start the show, right? They all yell like, who's working it out? We're working it out. And they're all like, and then they're like tired. They're like, ooh, girl, They're like, we're tired.
I haven't actually got to listen to it yet because I'm always working when they're on. But no.
Well, the episodes are on,
I know that I do know, but I tend to get occupied with my addiction at Facebook.
It is. What is the deal with? This is something I've talked to a number of people that have, some of them have just they've either signed off of Facebook, they've taken it off their phones, they've turned off the notifications. And I find that I'm really editing myself lately in terms of not what I'm posting, but I'm kind of like, I'm going to go on Facebook, I'm going to sit there for 10 minutes and then I'm off because otherwise I lose so much time in browsing everything. I mean, so tell me about your Facebook addiction.
No, I don't go browsing through everything. I just skim through
the news feed, the main feed, right?
I skim through it, and it's just my way of knowing what's going on in the community because I'm not as much involved as I used to be.
True.
So, I don't know. But I am addicted to it. I'm not even gonna lie to you because it's on my phone.
Right.
It's on my computer. They're always on. I'm at work. I'm looking at it. I don't know why.
It's a way of keeping up, but what I found, and I just actually had lunch with some good friends of mine that I hadn't seen in a while. Actually, the past couple of days, I've been seeing a lot of people that I haven't seen in a while, partially because, now I can get places and,
Because you're on vacation.
Kind of on vacation.
Yeah.
I mean, I have something to show off, but it's not just for that, but it's, you tend to, Facebook has this ability to let you see what everyone else is doing, and then you can, so you feel like you're part of people and their lives and existences without actually doing anything with them. But at the end of the day, you could do that all you want, and then you're ready to go to sleep, and you're like, what did I do today? Oh, I browsed. I went to work. I browsed Facebook. I did my own thing. I didn't actually see anybody.
Right.
And, I think psychologists have done these studies of like, if you actually sit down with someone for 5 minutes, you get more out of it than like an hour of chat or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think it's I'm really trying now to do a little less of keeping up on Facebook and a little more of actually, hey, let me go call that person and let's go do lunch. Let's go just hang out. Do something.
Yeah, at least you're calling because some people don't call no more. They do texting.
How many? Yeah. Okay, so that's interesting.
Then there's another thing because I do not call people.
You don't call people?
No, because my conversation is on the text and that's it. I don't carry it,
I did one of these share plan things, which, you get like the data and you can have it between multiple devices, even though I only have one. But it's got like unlimited calling. I will never hit I would never even hit the ceiling of a few hour a month plan for calling.
Right.
Because I'm like, I don't call people. I mean, I call like customer service places and things like that for, fix my bank account or whatever. But but I don't call. I do text a lot, but you lose a lot of kind of information when you're texting. You lose meaning and things like that. So I'm always adding smiley faces and things to the end of it to make sure people don't like misunderstand what I'm saying. But
yeah, when you type in bold, like why are you yelling
or caps,
at me?
Yeah,
what did
like
I do?
Right. We want to remind everyone that you can join us in the chat room. You can join us by phone, which again, we have this whole like virtual switchboard thing, and no one calls us because no one calls anybody anymore,
Right, exactly.
But I noticed that you guys got some calls on What's the Tea, and hopefully that'll translate to doing maybe some phone calls on your show.
Well, on my show, we will be doing a lot of calling out.
Okay.
And it's kind of my version of oh my God! Why am I totally just had it.
You had it there, and then you lost it.
Basically, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna just call random people and just get to know them a little better, and just ask random silly questions. Stuff that I don't know, because all of us who will be in my guests will get their phone. We'll just random person. We've called people's moms before and asked them, hey, how did they come out of the closet to you, or how well do you know your partner, or just random stuff from the other show. But it'll be fun, even though people will try to get me to call my mother, and I won't do that because she'll give out too much information.
Yeah, you don't want to be calling up your own mother.
No, my mom, she said she totally would be fine with it, but I just, yeah.
That could be a dangerous thing.
Exactly, because my mom has a funny bone to her, and I'm just like, that's too much, Mom. I have to let you go now. But no, that part of the show, and then we'll also be doing some Hollywood gossip, talking about Lindsay Lohan, I'm sure. That girl can't stay out of trouble, and other stuff about... I'm a big reality person. Reality show.
Okay.
It's my addiction, so I'll talk about that. And
you see, this is so good, because when I started Q Talk, I mean, I started my own little podcast years ago, and then I started Q Talk, but it was not like I joke with people, I'm not a good gay, because I don't always follow the reality shows. I don't always follow the Hollywood celebs. I mean, I browse through the news, and I browse through Google and the entertainment sections and all that stuff, but I just don't follow as much as some people in the community. So it's like, this is great that you're going to have your own show. You're going to do all this stuff, and it makes Q Talk much more diverse. It fills out all the cool, funny, trashy celebrity stuff, that I could never do a show on. But you can.
Easy. We'll have you come talk with us sometime.
I can go to school on the Afeelya Bunz Gabriel Friends show.
There you go. But for me, and it's funny because I don't see myself as a normal gay.
Okay.
I don't like Barbra Streisand.
Okay. I love Barbra Streisand, but I don't have any albums.
I'm not really huge on musicals.
Okay.
I'm not a fashion person. I don't color coordinate anything. For me, I'm a simple person. If you go to my house, nothing matches.
Right.
It's all thrift store stuff that I repainted and whatever. I got crafty with it.
Right.
But yeah, I don't see myself as the normal gay. Even though I do drag.
Right.
But that's not normal.
But you were saying, and I was chatting with you, I don't know, a few weeks ago or whatever, but you were talking about like drag for you is you go into the Afeelya Bunz persona and the look. But then when you leave that, you said you're done. Mm-hmm. Like you're now rich.
Right.
And I think that's unique, that some other drag queens like stay in their sort of drag persona. Not that they're dressed up like that all the time, but they sort of stay in that world all the time.
Right. Right. And for me, is I don't know. I try to keep it separate. But even when I go out into the public and people know who I am, even when I'm serving tables, people recognize me and they're like, "Are you Afeelya?" I'm like, and I get embarrassed. I don't know why, but I do. But I don't know because you're calling me out at my job or what. But even though everybody knows, and my job knows what I do anyways. So, but I like to keep it separate, Even though when I get in a little tipsy, it tends to come out. Oops, But that, yeah. But it is. That's what it is.
It is what it is, right?
And people, and it's funny because we had this conversation with somebody else about dating a drag queen. Would you ever date a drag queen, Joe?
I don't know. I had an opportunity, and I won't say that the person that I accidentally went on a couple dates with someone who did drag, not as their main thing, kind of a side thing, but there was something that they wanted to do more of, and that was really going to become more of their persona. Mm-hmm. And I think here's my thing, because I don't want people to be all like sending me hate mail and things like that, and
but
posting.
You're talking on behalf of the gay community who feels the same way you do.
Right.
So
I think drag is. I think what drag queens do, and I guess I don't know if I'm sure there's like a politically correct term for that, but I mean we're gay. We can call drag queens drag queens. I think what drag queens do is amazing. It is an art form, and obviously there are some that are better than others, and that look far more believable and realistic. The drag that I don't like actually is when it is too over the top. It's too made up. It's too much. It's like you wanted to go for this look, but then you took it 10 notches too far, and then it doesn't look real. But I think that it's an art form. I think it's amazing. But personally, I guess I want a boyfriend. I want a guy that's a guy, and not like a butch, hairy, straight acting guy, but I just want a guy who's a guy.
You say that because that's what most people say. It's like, why do you want to get the sex change? You want to? No, I don't.
And drag isn't the sex change.
No,
they get confused
for
with
me. For me, it's my side of entertainment that I'm able to express myself more, because I personally think me as a male, I'm shy. Some people might disagree, but I think I am. But when I'm in drag, there's no limits to what I can do. I can act crazy, and people are like, oh, that's just her persona. Well, yeah, that's because my persona is really ghetto. But I'm not. I like sports. I mean, I don't follow sports.
Sure.
I like to go.
I like Olympic diving. Because
like
Tom
gymnastics.
Daley doesn't really wear much.
See, I like to admire the sports people. I'm a athletic supporter to some people. I like to go out, and I don't like to go shopping. I don't shop. But I like to do guy things too.
Sure.
It doesn't make me, because I do drag, it doesn't make me less of a man.
Right.
Hey, drag is a sport, believe it or not.
Really?
Yes, it is.
I could believe that.
You try walking around in 4 or 5 inch heels and see if you can keep your balance.
No, that's see, that's a whole thing in and of itself.
Right.
And people don't get that. People just and especially when you're trying to perform at Pride. Like last year when it's 106 and everyone's just melting.
And I see, and here's the thing. I wasn't even performing. I was in the parade as a grand marshal.
Oh yeah.
And I was sweating like a whore in church, just sitting there.
It was miserable last year, and and we went ad nauseum, and the whole community went off. I think on what happened, and we've already been through all that this year. It seems like it's going to be nice weather, I think.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
we here at Q Talk, as Clayton would say, the Q Talk America Plaza, because apparently we own this entire plaza now.
Wow.
Yeah, my monthly rent went up, I think. So anyways, we are going to be in the parade this year. We are not having a booth, so you will not find us at the festival. It was a lot of effort. It was a lot of expense. And to be honest, we didn't get a lot out of it. We're somewhat known in this community, but it wasn't like we had Kathy Griffin at the booth. It wasn't like we had some talk show that everyone knew about. And as we continue to build, I've found that it's far easier for us to become not famous, but more of little mini celebrities and find our audience on the net, and also by cross-sponsoring other events and things like that, not necessarily having to have a big presence. Because the only thing that we can really hand out is like tchotchkes, like, oh, here's a Q Talk pencil, and here's some flyers and things.
Right.
And people just take that, and as great as it all looks, people take it and they throw it away.
Yeah.
So
I know I do.
It's, and so we did that. I said last year, that was our event last year. we go to Tucson Pride last year? No, that was the year before. So 2011 and 2012 was the years of we've got to be out in the community and we've got to be there and shake hands and all that stuff. And this year we're pulled back a little bit, and we're actually going to be starting our national branding campaign by co-sponsoring other prides. Probably 8 to 10 prides around the country. We'll be co-sponsoring them, so the logo gets out there. People are like, whoa, who's this Q-Talk kind of thing? Just so that we get that name out there and we continue doing everything else. Plus, we've grown so much. We've got like soon to be 10 or 11 shows that we produce ourselves.
Right.
And we've got tons of great content. And now it's like pushing that out there and getting people to know about it. Because once they find Q-Talk, people generally love us.
Have you ever like thought about just wearing the T-shirt and walking around Pride?
I have. Yeah, we've got T-shirts, and I've thought about that. Sometimes I've almost wanted to be like, I just want to go to Pride as me. And not as Q-Talk, but I may wear the shirt anyways.
Yeah, because I don't know. I
want to be shirtless. I've been working out and everything. So
watch out! You better work on that tan now.
Hey, Tan United.
I noticed you have a little color.
Like,
you're a little pink now.
I'm getting a little bit. And you know, so I got 2 weeks.
You be wearing that blue Speedo again?
Maybe.
Look at you.
Well, I'll probably be wearing something skimpy underneath shorts, and then we'll just see how things go.
Oh, that's gonna go so wrong.
It could go so wrong.
It could go so wrong.
Well, that's fun. I am single, and now that I've got like the car and everything, I told myself I am not even gonna try to date without having a car. We're trying to go through this whole life change. I said I'm not gonna even bother with it. So now I'm kind of saying, opening the doors again, saying, you know what? All right, it's time to put myself out there again. However that happens. Dating sites don't even seem to work anymore, because it's all like, if you're online, they want to chat with you or like hook up with you immediately. If you're not online and you can't chat, no one even bothers looking at anyone's profile. So I think everything has just gone grinder, and that's it. And that's not even the best way to meet people.
So what is your type, Joe? Are you a twinker?
Question.
Do you like the twinks, or do you like them?
You know what the thing is, and I'm 36 now, so it's not
you
like.
Are? Oh wow, you don't look 36.
Well, thank you.
Just trying to get my own show. No, joking.
You know, the thing is, my type really hasn't changed all that much over the years. I mean, do I like the younger guys? They're adorable and so forth. Usually they're messed up and they're not really mature and so forth. Some of them can be, but again, they haven't gone through life yet. Maybe they're not stable. It's like, I want someone who's got a job and transportation, and, I want someone who's got their life a little bit together. But, we all have our quirks. I mean, someone's got to understand that that Q-Talk isn't going away, that occasionally I have to just deal with a lot of stuff, and that when I meet people randomly, or I meet people even for dating, and I tell them about this, they're like, you what? Because most people are not go-getters like I am.
Right.
And they have to understand that I'm kind of a unique bird, and I've also been someone that has been pretty independent. So aside from the physical looks, and twinks are great, but I kind of I've dated various types of people. Obviously, as we all know, attraction fades, but you've got to have that attraction. You've got to have that click immediately, in the beginning.
Yeah, somebody asked me, do you have to be sexually attracted to somebody to have a relationship with them? I think you do.
I think, this was something I was chatting online on, what website was it? OkCupid, a few months ago.
Is that
it's a relationship. Yeah, it's it's a dating site. It's kind of different. They ask they have fun questions you can answer to get matched up with people, and it's free. It's really cool. It's kind of like more of a social dating website. And I was chatting with someone on there, and I think it was actually on their profile they talked about, and they were from San Francisco. They were visiting, but they were talking about sort of that they're a little bit picky and so forth. And they talked about, if you really want to meet the person that you're going to spend a long time with, some people believe in the open relationship kind of thing. I don't think I could deal with that, because I just don't think I could deal with that. I've thought about it. I've read books on it. It's not for me. So if you're going to be with someone for a long time and that you're committing to someone, it's not that you have to just be attracted to them and have that that spark in the beginning. But there is the sexual side. A lot of people kind of put it off and say, oh, well, the sex is not so important. You know what? At the end of the day, we are sexual beings. It is how we reproduce. And as much as the shaming that I had put up with in my childhood after I came out and so forth, and I've kind of undone all of that brainwashing, you have to also be sort of sexually compatible with you. I mean, if you're both tops, it's probably going to be a problem. If you're, you have to be compatible on a lot of different levels. And I think it's important also, some people would say, well, unless you get married, then you should live together. Of course, gay people can't get married in every state now. You can't even get all the rights that marriage has. So a lot of gay people live together, of course.
Right.
I think it's important actually to live together or to spend a lot of time together before you really commit to even saying, not that we're boyfriends, but say we're getting sort of engaged, or we're going to really, really go steady and we're like really thinking about being serious. I think you should spend some long weekends with them. I think you should spend multiple days, multiple nights and things, because you have to also see how the other person lives. And they have to see how you live. If they're a total mess and you're a total neatnik, which I'm kind of neither. I like a place that's kind of together and straightened up all the time, but I'll be honest, right now my apartment is a disaster. It looks like a bomb went off in there because my life has been topsy-turvy over the past couple weeks, changing jobs and working to finish those things and working on Q-Talk stuff. So you just have to be compatible. But so I could say, I could talk about all the looks and, do I like muscle guys? Sure, but I don't like these guys who are just in the gym constantly and they're like the Arnold Schwarzenegger type. That's just kind of unattractive. It's over the top. Twinks that are 90 pounds are kind of like, yeah, it's not really right there either. I like someone who takes care of themselves. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think I would have a problem dating someone who is tremendously overweight, unless it was like some kind of condition that they had and they couldn't get around very well, or something was wrong. Because I just think you should take care of yourself. You don't have to be a gym bunny, and you don't have to be like the most beautiful person, but it's like, this, right? When you look if you meet someone or you're looking across the room at someone and you look at them, and then maybe if you actually meet them or you see kind of like their interactions with the people, you feel that spark, you feel that connection. You may not really see it happen until you actually get to talk with them, assuming they're actually gay, not straight. You know what I mean? That's why Pride is so great. You're pretty much guaranteed that probably 95% of everyone is gay, but you have no idea if they're single or not. You know what I mean? And everyone at Pride, who was telling me this? This was a few, we got to go through our sponsors, but someone was talking to me about this about Pride. They said, okay, if you go to Pride and you hang out with your friends and you're always hanging out with your friends or going around and around all the booths and things like that, and you're trying to find someone to date or you're trying to make yourself available, people will just think that you're together with them or something like that. And then you got to walk, around Pride alone, and then that looks bad and so forth. So it's kind of like, I'm curious, anyone in our chat room, anyone who wants to call in, how many people have found their boyfriend at a Pride festival? Because if you think about it, it's not really that of an easy place to find people necessarily, because everyone has their own little agenda. Some people are there for the entertainment. Some people want to go to the adult expo. Some people want to go dancing. Mm-hmm. I guess maybe the dance floor thing is the best, because you're supposed to be out there and sort of bumping and grinding with everybody. But I'm also, you were talking about being shy, right? I'm someone, as much as, yes, I launched a freaking radio and media network, but I'm not the one who walks into a party and goes up to every single person and introduces myself out of the blue. That's usually a little bit out of context for me. But usually if it's if it's a more nicer environment, you're supposed to network with people, I have no problem going up to people who seem friendly and shaking hands. But I've been to so many Phoenix Prides and Tucson Prides and Flagstaff Prides, never really met someone there. Even when I was just there walking around and doing stuff and sort of making myself available, Not like I'm wearing some kind of like available T-shirt or something.
I think this is what they should do. They should have bands colored coordinated for singles, or like the red, the yellow, the green.
Yes.
So we can know. Okay, well.
So you know.
See, yeah, because I might see something attractive. I'm like, well, I don't know.
But you have
exactly
no idea.
Yeah.
And you don't want to sort of seem uncomfortable or I can't find the right word. Walk up to the person and they're like, yeah, that's great, but this is my boyfriend or this is my husband or whatever.
Right, exactly.
Now maybe they might be into that. They're like, they want to do a 3-way with you later, but maybe you're not into that either.
So that's the yellow.
So that's the yellow, yeah. So, but I agree with you. We have, and I guess that goes back to the old thing that hasn't. I don't think anyone's even done this for years. I guess there was like in the 70s and 80s and maybe early 90s, there was that whole handkerchief thing at the bars where you would wear some special colored...
The leather community.
The leather community, that's right. Do they still do that?
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like so the yellow means you like to be urinated on or something.
God. But you see, that's all so specific. We just want a specific, like, available, taken, playing on the side, I guess, whatever it would be. I don't know. Maybe we should start.
Maybe we should just do that.
We should just do that.
Go buy bands and say, okay.
And just say, this is what it is.
Yeah.
Edward in the chat room says, LOL, I met an ex-boyfriend at a Pride festival, and it was actually one of the best times at Pride Festival. Now, he's your ex, so obviously you broke up with him, but that's
When did
great.
you break up? At the Pride Festival?
The second day. Give us the details, Edward, or call in. You know the number, 888-791-9294.
I met you on the Saturday, but we broke up on Sunday. Thank you.
I just, I don't know. And so this year, I'm just going to go. I'm going to go to Pride as just, because I don't have to be there for a booth. I don't really have to promote. I could wear the Q Talk America shirt, maybe stick a couple flyers in my back pocket or whatever. But I'm just going to hang out and just enjoy myself. But I just, I don't know. Yeah, it would be great. It would be awesome. I mean, obviously, there's thousands of people potentially available. And obviously, I don't know that many people, I don't know what the statistics are, how many people are always in relationships versus being single. But let's see. We were together for about 3 months, and we decided we were better off friends than boyfriends. Are you still friends today, Edward? I'm curious because sometimes you're with someone and then you become friends.
I'm friends with most of my exes.
I am friends with some of my exes.
Well, and then for
one of
me,
them I deleted him from my social circles, but
Do you ever get mad at somebody and you're like, I'm gonna delete you from Facebook? That's it. I think it's funny when people do that.
He says, yes, best friends. That's great.
Nice.
That is great. Let's run through our sponsors real quick because I want to make sure that we don't miss any of them. We want to remind everybody that if I pick the right shot here, there we go. Savor Life. You know about Savor Life. I guess I should put us both on so we both can talk about it.
I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, well, Savor Life is by, what Aunt Rita's foundation is, right? Okay, so every March, what they do, it's one of their fundraising. They're going to have like 4 big events every year now. So Savor Life is you get your friends together and you either go out to eat or you invite them over to your house or whatever, and you ask them to donate $35 or some amount of money, and you have a great time, either out and about or at your own home, and you have a dinner party or whatever, and you raise money. And then if each of them raises $35 or more, you can go to the fabulous event on April 12th. I have to look at the screen to remember the notes. Friday, April 12th at the Phoenix Art Museum, and they have like this big kind of, I would call it an after party, but it's a soiree. They have like champagne and those cute little whoopie pies, which are so good. You can just eat like a few of them because they're really small. And then you go to the gym. But anyways, or you could walk home. But anyhow, it's Aunt Rita's Foundation, of course, supports 19 or 20 local HIV and AIDS service organizations. And Savor Life is actually one of their original events that they've had going on since the 90s. And that was a way that people could raise money and kind of have fun doing it. So our event on Tuesday is an official event. It's a fundraising event, but it's not like we're not making it like, oh my God, to come to the party you have to fundraise. We're gonna have a box for donations. People can put checks and stuff in there, and we'll donate all that to Aunt Rita's. If you do want to actually go to the soiree, probably write a check so that we can have your name and make sure that they get the info and you get a ticket to the soiree. Or you can go to our dinner page, which, if you go to the QTalkAmerica.com website, you can find a direct link to our dinner donation page, and then you could like donate right online and do it that way. So it's something that we do every year. We also participate in the AIDS Walk, and we'll probably see if we can buy one of those, a couple seats at their red brunch event, which is in December. But Save Her Life is just, it's a great thing, and it's easy to figure out a way to kind of have fun and donate to Aunt Rita's. Let's see. Of course, Phoenix Pride, which is the 6th and the 7th, literally 2 weeks from today. The parade starts at 10 instead of 11, so
That's
a little
good.
bit earlier, a little bit cooler. And I think it'll make it easier for everyone to get into the festival gates as well. That steps off at 3rd Street and Thomas going north. It will actually, we won't be in the studio, obviously, but it goes right by the Q Talk America Plaza. So, oops, someone's calling in. Should we take a call?
Yeah, why not?
Let's see. Area code 928, last 4 digits, 6090. You're on the air with Afeelya and Joe. Who is this, and where are you calling from?
This is Ace, Joe.
Ace London from Bullhead City, Arizona, and someone who has a syndicated program on Q Talk America.
Oh, nice.
How are you, Ace?
You guys are doing a good show today. I really enjoy it.
Are you watching?
I'm not watching. I'm listening.
Just listening? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's great. How are
Now,
you?
to what? To watch. What do you have to do to watch?
All you have to do, because we upgraded to video about a month ago, you just go to the QTalkAmerica.com site, and there's a button that shows up when we're on video that says Watch Live.
Okay. Well, that helps others, too.
There you go.
I think what you guys are talking about, you mentioned something earlier, both of you, about the lack of communication and all this tweeting and crap that's going on today. I think it's going to affect our community greatly in the future.
I agree.
Not only our community, I think it's going to affect the entire world,
the whole
community. You know, because you cannot possibly have much communication whatsoever if you just tweet and text.
It's true. You lose that
The emotion, the person.
How the hell are you going to get to know someone?
Yeah.
You know, I'll tweet him. Oh shit, no way. You know. And I'm saying this from the time that, you know, back in the late 60s, early 70s, when I became an activist for gay rights, we communicated with one another. We had phone calls. We'd have meetings together. We would get a chance to really get to know one another, with the exception of all of the one-night stands that was going on back then, too. But that was sex. But getting to know one another and working as a fellow laborer activist in the community, that takes a little time and you just got to put yourself out there to do it.
You do.
know? And don't be afraid to call like you do, Joe, because that's important.
It is. It really is.
Now, see,
It's like...
Go ahead.
It's like, do you call your elderly relatives, your grandparents, or your aunts and uncles? They're getting close to stepping on the banana peel. And do you care? Do you call them? I find that in my relations, you know, my relatives, I end up being one of the few people that calls everybody.
Yeah, I don't call mine.
I only have relationships with a few of my relatives, just due to, it's a long story. I've already talked about it ad nauseum on the show. And I do call them on occasion. You know, usually it seems to be at the holidays, but occasionally, you know, differently. Or sometimes what happens, I notice, and you know, it's always different, is if I'm doing something on Facebook or texting and it gets to be too much of a conversation that it's going to either lose the meaning or it's going to just be too much to type, right, I will just call the person.
I FaceTime
Yeah.
my mom.
That's good.
Yes.
And FaceTime is great
When
because
she got
it's video.
when she got her little what's it called, the iPad and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And we hooked her up with that, and I do it every Sunday with her and my sister's there, my nephews and all that. So I get everybody in one shot right there.
Yeah.
But
That's
when it comes
great.
down, yeah, it's really short. We keep it short, to the point with the conversation. Say, bye, I love you. But yeah, I don't.
I
Yeah.
personally think, and this is going too much on the technical side, because there's all these different apps and things that do video calling and nothing is universal yet. As soon as we get to that point, which hopefully is soon, but it's probably a couple of years off, when video calling becomes more easy to know that you can just call anyone and it's easy as making a phone call, that I think is going to then reverse this trend of texting and everything and be like, oh, I can just see them.
Right.
And because they say
That's
like,
good. I
Go
do
ahead.
that with Skype.
Yeah, Skype.
well,
the same
yeah,
way,
Skype is actually pretty universal now, and it is pretty easy to use, and a lot of people have Skype, and I think as it gets more universal, when it gets to be it's as easy to video call someone as it is to call them on a cell phone or a landline, that's when we're going to get more and more adoption of it. So I think
Everyone
everything
is
is
so
cyclical.
scattered.
Everyone
You
is
know,
so scattered. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, my youngest and I Skype. He's in San Diego, and I'm here in Arizona, and we video Skype and talk and chat, and I can see how he is and how he looks, and he knows that I'm okay too. And I have brother-in-law in Florida that I do the same thing with, and we see each other, and that's important, especially in this day and age.
Very
It
true.
really is.
Now, you're in Bullhead City, is that right?
Yep. Lovely Bullhead City, Arizona.
Can I ask where that is? I
You
really
know where
Laughlin.
You know where Laughlin, Nevada is?
Yes.
Okay, we're right across the river.
Oh, okay. No, I've been through there once, many years ago. Do you guys have a gay bar there?
one, right?
Supposedly.
There used to be one, right?
I think there still is. Yeah, just one.
Yeah. I hear that that's going to be sold to become a biker bar or something now.
Oh.
But who knows? It's we don't have a big gay life per se up here.
Well, it's too bad.
Well, Ace, I want to thank you for calling in. We've got to kind of get through the rest of our show before 2:00. But are you going to be soon to be back to producing episodes of London Calling?
Yeah, we're finishing our final episode of London Calling. We're taping it. I think it's tomorrow. And then we're introducing the new London Calling, the Empty Closet series.
Oh, cool. Well, great. Well, I look forward to that, and of course, we'll be carrying it. I forget what the days and times are. I just updated all the graphics on our site. In fact, when you repeat on our show,
I don't even know those, Joe.
It's okay. Yeah, they're decent times, but I forget what they are. But yeah, you can always hear London Calling.
You guys have a continued great show. It's a good show.
Well, thank you. And if you're available tomorrow at 7:00, make sure you tune into
Sunday.
my
Monday
or Monday. What's today?
Saturday.
On Monday, 7:00. Make sure you tune in. I can't even say this no more. Tune into my first show called Neighborhood Friends.
Take your teeth out, honey. Take your teeth out. Do it right.
No, I told you that was Sunday today.
What time is your show on Monday?
It's 7:00.
7 p.m.
Correct.
Okay. Very good. You guys, I love you. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Thanks,
hon.
Ace. Bye-bye.
So you got tongue tied up.
It's okay.
That's funny.
So Ace London from Northwest Arizona, and an amazing guy. We have had him on the show before. He has an amazing sort of storied career. He was in Hollywood, and he was entertaining the troops for forever with his own show and a variety show. Just an amazing guy. Couple things we want to kind of get through. Obviously, again, your show starts on Monday. Of course, we have the other shows coming up this afternoon, 2:30 Pacific and Arizona time is Technobabble with Brad and I, and then followed at 4:00 by Working It Out with Gene and Ernesto. They're going to be on the main stage.
Yeah, I was talking to
at
Ernesto the
Pride,
other day about that.
and they're going to be doing the version of Working It Out on the main stage, and they're going to be promoting their show and Q Talk. So these are these other things that we can kind of have now that everyone else involved in the network is kind of promoting it, and people are finding out. So I'm excited for that. Again, real quick, our event coming up, of course, on Tuesday night, 5:30 to 10. Please come and eat, drink, and be merry. Lastly, we can make some money. Audible, if anyone is not familiar with it, are you familiar with Audible or audiobooks?
I'm not.
Okay. Do you read it all?
I don't.
You don't. Okay. Would you like to read more if you could listen and it was entertaining?
I don't know if I have time
Say
for
yes.
that. Yes, totally. Sorry.
So Audible is a great way. They have literally have like 100,000 books that have been made into audiobooks by amazing, great voice actors, or sometimes the authors themselves. And they actually have several hundred LGBT titles as well. And you can go, and you should do this like after the show. You can go to audibletrial.com/QTalkAmerica. You can sign up for like a 1 month free trial, and you get a free audiobook, whatever audiobook that you want. And the cool thing is, like, and you can listen to it on your computer, you can listen to it on your phone, and wherever you leave off, it knows where you left off to go pick up the next time. And it's you take public transit. It's something that you can do while you're running around and not having to worry about driving. And it's a fantastic service, and you get to keep the audiobooks even if you cancel the service. And even if you say, they have two ways of doing it, through these monthly subscriptions or like one at a time. But even if you cancel the service, like, you keep the audiobooks, which is really, really awesome. So audibletrial.com/QTalkAmerica, definitely use that URL, because then we get credit for it. They send us some love. And so we hope that you will check that out. There is the actual URL. Boom, boom, boom. There it is, free audiobook. So we thank them for their support. And so give them some love and try it out. It's a really fantastic service. I've been meaning to do it. Maybe I will finally actually sign up for it this week, just because I'm going to have a little bit more of
when you're by the pool working on your tan.
That's right, by the pool and having a little drink and all those kind of things. We want to remind you that even when we're not here, you can reach us by voicemail at 888-791-9294, or send us an email at joeandbabe@qtalkamerica.com. We had the listener voicemail, who was they left a few weeks ago, which was great, from Kielda, I think, that she was talking about. And we have various people who do comment on the shows and whatnot. Let's go back to what Edward was saying. I think most guys are afraid of rejection, so they rather get rejections off of Grindr, Adam, A4A, or Facebook. One thing that I like to do when I am meeting people online is try to meet them as quickly as possible, instead of spending weeks emailing back and forth and saying, how are you, what did you do today, and all this stuff, because it's just far easier to know within a date or two if you have that initial click. And I don't even push it, like if I don't click with them within a date or two, I usually don't try to push it past that unless it's going to be friends, because it gets to be like uncomfortable, or you just find out that you really are incompatible, or it's just weird. I usually know fairly quickly.
So would you say, like, when you meet somebody on like one of those do you say the first time you meet is a date, or is it just a meeting? Like, if you guys go for coffee, I think
the thing is with these, and the dating services are, normally, if you're meeting someone on a dating service, like any of these things, like, I mean, it's obviously on a thing like Grindr. I mean, all these services are kind of like, some of them are like hookup things, like Manhunt. Some of them like OkCupid, and there's so many gay even dating sites. It's kind of, you're in this world. Most people are there not to meet friends. They are not to meet pen pals. Some are, but usually it doesn't work out that way. You're either there to hook up because you're horny, or you're there to legitimately try to start a conversation with someone, and you've already looked at their profile. You've already been mentally and emotionally sort of matching things up. Ooh, they're cute, and they have dogs, and they make X amount a year, and they like the color green, and they're a Capricorn or whatever. You're already in that mode. So if you go out, I think it's a date. Unless it's that you've already declared, oh, you like jazz concerts, and let's go to a jazz concert and be friends. I think if you're in that romantic world and that's what the sort of definition of what you were going for, that's what it is.
Yeah, me personally, I don't think the first meet like for coffee I wouldn't consider it a date. Like going to a movie, going to a dinner, going to a jazz festival, then that would consider a date. But the first time, I don't think so.
But then the thing is, we could do this for 2 hours. You're gonna have a 2-hour show. But then it's sort of like, what is a date? A date can be a date with a friend, or it can be a romantic date. And the first date doesn't have...
I have friend dates, yeah.
Yeah, and the first date doesn't have to be, we held hands at coffee and we kissed and hugged. It could just be a friendly date. But both of you are evaluating each other on that sort of, could he be, do I have a connection? And since you both met on one of those sites, there's that, it's already in your head. Unless somehow you both didn't communicate correctly and one of you thought one thing and the other one thought the other thing, and then you have a train wreck coming when one of you wants a romantic thing out of it and the other one, well, I thought we were just going to be friends.
Right.
Then you have a challenge. So I usually try to establish what we're going after online, and then when you meet in person, it's not uncomfortable. It's not, and yes, I will be honest. I mean, yes, I've met people for dating. I have met people for hookups. Yes, I've done that all. Hookups to me are just more empty because it's great, but it's over. You know what I mean? Although I've had some hookups that turned into 12-hour sort of dates and then we became boyfriends. So, I mean, just weird. I mean, gay men in some ways tend to, sex is kind of like an early release kind of thing, and you can turn into a date.
Literally,
release, yeah. And it can turn into a date, and then it could turn into that. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people, and I've said, well, how did you meet your partner? Well, we hooked up, and then we kind of found out that we liked each other, and then we were together for 10 years, or longer. So it's such a mixed bag.
Maybe that's what my problem is I don't give up the cookies.
Maybe you should.
The cookie jar is sealed
until shut, right?
Right.
So
maybe I should.
I don't know. I've been told that. There's no rules in these relationships because, especially in our world, because we don't have to conform to the straight world. We don't have to conform to anything, really. I don't think actually humanity at all. We've just put ourselves in all these boxes and these rules. But I mean, I don't know, 10,000 years ago, humans weren't like boxed in by all these rules. It was a totally different world. We all just hung out and did whatever. And had to go like roam to find food and stuff like that.
Wow. We could have this conversation for
hours.
Because
maybe you and I should go on a date.
Maybe. You know what? I thought when we had that coffee the other day, that was a date.
That was a date. It was a friendly date.
It was a friend date.
That was a date.
Because we actually got to know more about each other.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I got the call about the offer, which was totally the job offer, which was totally cool.
Which I think, congratulations on that again.
So that was really awesome.
Yeah.
And now we're out of time. So the other things that I want to briefly touch on for the next 10 seconds.
I will continue this conversation on Monday for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But anyways, this week, important week coming up: marriage equality, Proposition 8. The Supreme Court taking up the Prop 8 cases and DOMA. Very, very important week coming up. And I know that there's the vigil on Tuesday night, which is opposite our event. So anyhow, we hope that you'll come to our event. But obviously, if you're going to the vigil on Tuesday night, please go to the vigil and do all the vigil stuff. That doesn't sound right. But anyways, it's the light the way to justice. Show starts on Monday. Westboro Church this past week got this gay guy bought the house
neighbor.
next door, painted the thing rainbow. I think that's just freaking awesome. And the rest of the things, we're out of time. So we'll be in the Pride Parade. That's 2 weeks from now. Babe and I will be here next week to talk about, I don't know. Hopefully, we're going to have an interview with one of the entertainers. We're trying to work on that to bring that to you. And otherwise, we want to remind you, of course, that you can always find us on iTunes and QTalkAmerica.com and Twitter and all those different things. But we've got to get out of here because the live system is going to.
Thank you so much. I'll see you Monday.
Thank you so much. That's right. We're going to be here, and here's our ending music and all that good stuff. So. I think that's basically going to wrap it up for the Joan Babe Show with Afeelya Bunz co-hosting. Thank you so much for being here.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me.
And for the listeners, we will talk to you next week. And obviously, check out the rest of our live programs if you're listening live the rest of the afternoon. Have a great weekend.